Gregory Peck was born on April 5, 1916, in La Jolla, California. From a young age, his presence was marked by a quiet strength and an unwavering sense of dignity. Raised by his grandmother after his parents divorced when he was just 6 years old, Peck's early life was far from easy. However, his academic abilities were evident early on, as he excelled in school, first at San Diego State University and later at the University of California, Berkeley. It was at Berkeley that Peck discovered his love for acting, ultimately shifting his career path from medicine to the theater. His transition from Broadway to Hollywood was swift, with his debut in 1944's Days of Glory. Peck's tall stature, deep voice, and noble demeanor made him an ideal leading man. His legacy, however, extends far beyond his professional accomplishments. Gregory Peck was known for his compassion, strong moral compass, and his quiet activism both on and off screen. The rise of Gregory Peck, a Hollywood leading man. By the early 1940s, Gregory Peck's career had already begun to gather momentum. His transition from the stage to film was met with success, and by 1944, he had already made a lasting impression with his film debut in Days of Glory. His physical presence on screen, standing tall with an air of authority and gentleness, allowed him to portray a range of characters, from the strong but vulnerable to the heroic and noble. However, it was his portrayal of Atticus Finch in the 1962 adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird that solidified his place as one of Hollywood's finest actors. Peck's performance as the principled Southern lawyer defending a black man falsely accused of a crime in the racially segregated American South earned him an Academy Award and further cemented his status as a figure of moral authority. His iconic portrayal of Finch remains one of the most revered performances in cinematic history. Gregory Peck's personal life, a story of love and loss. Gregory Peck's personal life was marked by both love and profound tragedy. In 1942, he married Greta Kuusinen, a Finnish-American woman who played a central role in his early family life. Together, they had 3 children, Jonathan, Stephen, and Carrie Paul. However, after more than a decade of marriage, Gregory and Greta divorced in 1955. The end of his first marriage coincided with a devastating loss for Peck, the suicide of his eldest son, Jonathan, in 1975. This tragedy left an indelible mark on Peck, and he openly acknowledged that he would never fully recover from the pain of losing his son. As he later reflected, "It's the most terrible thing that has happened to me in my life. You never get over a thing like that." This loss shaped much of his later life, adding depth to the stoic figure that audiences had come to admire. Gregory Peck's affair with Ingrid Bergman, a love never forgotten. While his marriage to Greta came to an end, Gregory Peck's life remained intertwined with the women he encountered in Hollywood. One of the most significant relationships in his life was his brief affair with Ingrid Bergman, his co-star in Spellbound, 1945, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The chemistry between the two was undeniable both on-screen and off, and their time together was marked by deep emotions. Though both were married at the time, their intense professional connection sparked a passionate romance that lasted several weeks. Years later, in a candid interview, Gregory Peck admitted that Bergman was the love of his life. His confession came late in life at the age of 87, when he had long been married to Veronique Pisani. Despite the years that had passed, Peck never stopped thinking about Ingrid, a woman whose brilliance and warmth left a lasting imprint on his heart. A life devoted to humanitarian efforts, Gregory Peck's legacy beyond film. Gregory Peck was not only known for his acting, but also for his deep commitment to social causes and humanitarian work. Throughout his life, he used his fame to advocate for a variety of causes, from civil rights to anti-war efforts. During the McCarthy era, Peck was a vocal critic of the Hollywood blacklist, standing firm against the paranoia that plagued the entertainment industry. He was also an ardent supporter of nuclear disarmament and worked tirelessly for civil rights initiatives. Peck's advocacy extended beyond public statements. It was reflected in the roles he chose. In his portrayal of Atticus Finch, he embodied the moral courage he so deeply believed in, using the screen to speak out against injustice. His commitment to these causes remained steadfast throughout his life, proving that Peck was as dedicated to making a difference off-screen as he was on it. Marriage to Veronique Pisani, a partnership built on mutual respect. In 1955, shortly after his divorce from Greta Kuusinen, Gregory Peck married Veronique Pisani, a Parisian journalist he had met in 1952. Their relationship began as a professional one, with Pisani interviewing Peck before he left to film Roman Holiday in Italy. Their connection blossomed into a deep and enduring love, and they became inseparable. Together, they had 2 children, Anthony and Cecilia, who would go on to pursue careers in the arts. Veronique became a constant source of strength for Gregory throughout their marriage, offering him the emotional support he needed to navigate the highs and lows of both his career and personal life. Their nearly 5-decade-long marriage is often described as one of mutual admiration, intellectual companionship, and profound romantic connection. Gregory often credited Veronique with grounding him, particularly after the loss of his son, Jonathan. Gregory Peck's family, a legacy of the arts. Gregory Peck's legacy extended far beyond his film career, touching the lives of his children and grandchildren. His eldest son, Anthony, worked in the entertainment industry, while his daughter, Cecilia, found success as a documentary filmmaker and actress, continuing the artistic legacy of her father. In particular, one of Gregory's grandsons, Ethan, went on to have a successful career in acting, most notably playing young Spock in the Star Trek franchise. This continuation of the Peck family's involvement in the arts speaks to the lasting influence Gregory had on his loved ones. While Gregory's work on screen captured the imagination of millions, it was his role as a father and grandfather that allowed his values and artistic sensibilities to continue to shape future generations. A quiet confession, Gregory Peck reflects on Ingrid Bergman. As Gregory Peck entered the final years of his life, he began to reflect on the moments that had defined his personal journey. At the age of 87, he made a quiet confession that stunned those who heard it. Ingrid Bergman, his co-star in Spellbound, was the love of his life. Though their affair had been brief, their connection left a permanent mark on both of their hearts. Peck spoke with deep affection about Bergman, describing her as a brilliant and sensitive woman whose laughter and warmth had stayed with him throughout his life. His confession was not one of regret, but of remembrance, a recognition of the love that had shaped him, even if it could never fully be realized. In his final years, this confession added another layer to the man behind the iconic roles, revealing a tenderness and vulnerability that had long remained hidden behind his public persona. Gregory Peck's passing, a quiet end to a legendary life. Gregory Peck passed away on June 12, 2003, at the age of 87, from bronchopneumonia. He died peacefully in his sleep at his longtime residence in Los Angeles, surrounded by family, including his beloved wife, Veronique Pisani. His passing marked the end of an era for Hollywood and for the generations of fans who had admired him not only for his acting, but for his moral integrity and humanity. Peck's funeral was a moving event attended by numerous notable figures from the entertainment industry, including Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, and Lauren Bacall. Actor Brock Peters, who had played Tom Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird, delivered the eulogy, symbolizing the deep connection between the film's message of justice and Gregory Peck's own personal commitment to the cause. Peck's death was deeply mourned, but his legacy continues to inspire those who value not just great acting, but a life lived with purpose and dignity. Gregory Peck's enduring legacy. A Hollywood icon and humanitarian. Though Gregory Peck passed away in 2003, his legacy endures in both his films and his humanitarian work. His portrayal of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird remains one of the greatest performances in American cinema, a testament to his ability to embody moral courage and integrity. Beyond his acting, Peck's tireless advocacy for civil rights, social justice, and nuclear disarmament left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the world at large. He was a man who used his platform for good, fighting for causes he believed in, even when it was unpopular or difficult. As a husband, father, and grandfather, Peck also showed that the qualities of compassion, integrity, and dedication to family were just as important as those that defined his career. Gregory Peck's life continues to inspire generations, not just through his performances, but through the example he set of how to live with grace, dignity, and purpose.